anyways. Okay, wait for it. We are live, so hold on, guys. I'm gonna just hit the intro because this is Geek Battle, and here we go.
Welcome to the Geek Battle Zone. We discuss comics and puny minds are blown. We debate Marvel versus DC, Skeletor, X-Men, and Ron Weasley. Judge David slams down the gavel and cap dreams of Henry Cavill. It's a Geek Battle stream, nerd rage as we assemble our Geek Avengers team. Welcome to the Geek Battle party. We are the Justice League and our Batman is Marty. Sick Hitler's a Tim as movies are greenlit. Every new movie, Dev's already seen it. Xbox, Star Wars, and Star Riders. He-Man, Star Trek, and David loves spiders. We battle as Morrow and Disney will blink. And we try to crown the Geek of the Week. It's the Geek Battle Show. Welcome to the Geek Battleground, where we use the Force and the One Ring is found. Cap is wrong about Resident Evil 6, and everyone watch out. Oh shit, it's Nick, Gerald, and Tim and Diz will try to win at the Geek Battle Quiz. David and Dave will confuse their crew as they dive in the TARDIS of Doctor Who. Watch out now, we're full of hot takes. Doc Courtney is garbage, but Red Dwarf is great. You love Sega, I love Nintendo, but in the Geek Battle, we are all friendos. Oh, it's a Geek Battle show. Oh, the Geek Battle show. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Geek Battle show.
Hey, we've lost Dave. Okay, so there is Dave. Hello, everyone. And welcome, one and all, to Geek Battle. So, today we've got, it's been Christmas. It's the first show of the new year. So, hopefully, this is going to be lots of fun. But let's hear from everyone with our New Year's New Geek resolutions, perhaps. And perhaps we'll get into some predictions for 2026 later, but there's certainly some stuff I want to talk about. But Tim, say hello to the people.
Hello to the people. It's Tim from North Kingstown, Rhode Island, the smallest state, smaller than one of the educational districts in Texas. Do we do Geek Facts of the Week now, or
yeah?
Yeah. What's that cool thing? Scientists, so I want to go for the serious geek thing. Scientists did a research on a specific toad because when the toad was put in buckets of milk, it made the milk go sour slower. So, like, I don't know how they found this out, but it was like a folk remedy for milk spoilage in Russia. And they found out that there's 57 different peptides on the toad's skin that are like antimicrobial, and that helps reduce the spoilage of the milk and slow it down as it spoiled, which is just pretty darn cool.
I thought where you were going with that. Do you remember the film Catch Me If You Can with Christopher Walken telling his story about, so there are two mice in a bucket of milk, and one of them just drowned, and the other one swam so hard he churned it into cream and climbed out. I thought that's where we were going with this. But Capital Fave, say hello to the people.
Hail from the land of leopards, elephants, and crocodile, and also the future, Sri Lanka. It's me, Capital Dave, and my geek fact of the day. Well, I didn't think of one, so I'm trying to do something on top of my head. Okay. So here's the thing. So in Warhammer 40k, that's where I will fall back to whenever I don't have anything. So after the Horus Heresy, they really limited the range of space marines a single legion can have. So basically, they broke them into chapters because at the height of the Horus Heresy, there were like 10,000 marines or something like that for each legions. But then they broke up into chapters where they only have like 1,000 marines per chapter. But there is a loophole in that rule where the Imperium has, if you're on a crusade, you can have more than 1,000 marines. So the Black Templars looked at that rule and said, okay, then we're on a crusade until eternity. So they're basically on a crusade forever. So they can basically recruit anytime they want. And if an Inquisitor goes up to their ship and says, like, how many Marines do you have? They will specifically look at the Inquisitor and say, count the Marines, I dare you.
Do you know, that's so interesting because where I thought you were going with that. Have you seen the film Catch Me If You Can? Right, okay, so anyway.
Oh, no.
There's this knock-knock joke. If you know it, then you get my point. Right, so anyway. Dave, say hello to the people.
Hello to the people. I am Dave MC, back in Paris, France, after my own adventures. And my geek fact, I've been actually doing some research. I've been looking up stupid laws. Like I found out one that was you can't wear a suit of armour in Parliament. Apparently that's still in place and still illegal. But I found one that's even funnier than that, is that this is still in place since 1986. It is illegal to handle a salmon suspiciously.
I like it.
So because of a fish market, black market scandal in the UK, it was assumed that people were smuggling fish. So if you were caught suspiciously
smuggling fish,
I don't know. It says smuggling on the. It says smuggling. I don't know what else it could possibly be. But
well, hang on. Look, Dave.
Showering.
I have often looked at you and think there's a man that smuggles fish, and I'm not talking about hiding them.
Do I look like Aquaman?
Well, exactly.
I feel like smuggling fish is a metaphor for not showering for a week.
Okay. On that note, Dev, say hello to the people.
Hello.
Great. Now, anyway, so Dev, Happy New Year, by the way.
Thank you. You too.
Right. Do you have a geek fact for us?
Geek fact. A lot of Disney creations have gone into public domain again at the start of the year.
Tell us what's gone to public domain
I'm not
this
sure what's on
Pluto.
I'm not sure what's on the docket this year, but I think the original design for Goofy.
Wow. Okay, let's
Not
ask
sure about
AI.
Goofy, but I know Pluto is.
Pluto's public domain now.
Yeah. The original design, though, like not the later incarnation, the original design.
Not the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse that you're so familiar with, Cap.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, this is I always find this fascinating.
Fair.
So the interesting thing, though. Okay, so what famous things have fallen into the public domain in 2026? Books and literary works. Let's see if anything. The Murder at the Vicarage by Agatha Christie. The first 4 Nancy Drew mysteries. Let's see anything else. Blah blah blah. The Little Engine That Could. But let's see. Films. All Quiet on the Western Front. Haven't heard of the others. And let's see. Characters. The original Betty Boop has. Oh my god! There's going to be so many porn parodies starring Betty Boop at now. Right. Okay. Early Pluto. There you go. Oh my god! They're going to get Pluto and Betty Boop together. Right. Okay. And additional early Mickey Mouse cartoons and appearances from 1930.
Oh dear.
And the song "Dream a Little Dream of Me." So how about that?
Isn't
Wow.
Porky? Isn't Porky supposed to be in public domain? Because I know he's older than 1930s.
Porky
What,
Pig.
Porky
Porky
Pig?
Pig.
Yeah.
No, it can't be.
No.
I'd be surprised because
he's
Go on.
the oldest Looney Tune. The second is Daffy, which is in 1934. Bugs Bunny is in the 1940s. Porky has to be older. He's really old.
well, it must be soon then.
2031. 2031.
2031. Oh, that's a
Porky.
few years. That's a few years to wait, Cap.
Wow.
Are you going to be able to cope?
Yeah, but I can't.
got
I
Betty
can't.
Boop.
I mean, like Porky is not my favorite character. I need Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck to do stuff.
Also, I just remembered another geek fact.
Go on then.
A very interesting thing is they can never have the House of Mouse on Disney Plus,
Why?
as they own the movie rights to characters, but they don't own the television rights to the same characters.
Oh, I never thought about that.
The same reason why the Disney Tarzan show cannot be available on Disney Plus as well, because mainly that character is an issue because the Bourne estate, who owns the character Tarzan, they are very particular about copyright, and they can't use Tarzan for any television stuff afterwards, which is bad because like it's a really good show. It's one of the good Disney shows that I've actually done.
Huh. Okay, well, let's find out when Tarzan's out of copyright. It just feels like with all of these things that Disney have gone, so they've trademarked things and they've done things to lock things down so that you can't get them, even though you should technically be able to get them.
They're the ones who actually changed the copyright law in the U.S. They lobby Congress to actually change the copyright law years after year. Rob is the one who actually told us this like a long time ago.
Wait, is Disney still a country? Considered a country in Florida?
I'm not sure about the tree, but the rest of it.
Yeah,
It's not a country. It's considered. They changed their legal status because the governor of Florida is, he's tried to make it harder for Disney to get some kind of financial benefit from that legal listing.
because it's kind of like the same as it is here. It's like its own sort of state kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, Disney ended up, I think, buying just a lot of property that wasn't used, and then I think gave themselves some kind of municipality or municipal designation.
Yeah.
But I know that legal designation was they were trying to take it away. I don't know if it was by the state of Florida.
Because I know that the French one isn't that big, but the Florida one spans multiple counties, doesn't it?
I don't remember.
Yeah. That's why it's
I know
Disney
it's-
World.
Okay, do you know what? This is really interesting what I've just looked up about Tarzan, because it kind of answers about how any of these things are being protected still. So it says Edgar Rice Burroughs Incorporated, the family estate, still holds active trademarks on Tarzan, the yell, I just did it, right, and certain likenesses. This means you can freely use the public domain stories and original character elements for new works, adaptations, or non-commercial uses. Commercial uses, e.g. titles, branding, and merchandise that could confuse customers into thinking it's an officially endorsed product may face trademark challenges. And that's how Disney will keep Mickey Mouse forever. So... that's how all of these
That's
things.
crazy.
But apparently, Tarzan fell out of the public domain in the early 2000s.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's not long after the film then, was it? Because the film came out in the 90s, didn't it?
Yeah. It came out in 1996.
No, it didn't.
Not 96.
It's much
mate.
later
No,
than
yeah.
that.
99.
Tarzan isn't 1996.
It's not. It wasn't. I wasn't 3 when that came out.
Tarzan
First
did
Tarzan.
Tarzan that came out in the last
1999. Yeah,
Yeah.
99.
Yeah.
Lion King was in 1994, I assume. Yeah,
Lion
Lion
King.
King was
Why
90.
No, that's Aladdin.
So if it was going to fall into the public domain in like 2002, why didn't they just wait? Because they probably had to pay bank to get that.
Yeah, and they're still kind of screwed because they can't use they can't put it on streaming services. They get the Disney's Tarzan series on the streaming service because of a Bourne estate issue legal issue they have. And they can never show Tarzan in House of Mouse, where House of Mouse had like loads of Disney characters appear, but they never showed Tarzan mainly because of this reason.
Oh no.
It's crazy.
Man,
Okay,
this is
so-
less more about geek battle and more like legal battle.
Legal battle. I'm so
Copyright
up for that.
legal.
It's the Teenage Mutant
Right, so-
Ninja
well, anyway, I'm gonna bring it-
Legal Battle Show.
Yeah, exactly. Now, guys, who here has seen the conclusion, the last series of Stranger Things?
It's not
Anyone?
the last episode.
No.
You've not seen the last episode?
It's not the last episode.
Oh, okay. So you're on board with where I was going to go with this. So I'll keep it spoiler free, except for the thing that Dev just referenced, because it's worth talking about. And if you haven't watched it by this point, either it's going to become a reality, or it's not going to become a reality. In which point, even if it does become a reality, then it would be in the public knowledge anyway. But the last episode, so they put out some episodes before Christmas. They put out some episodes on Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. And then the last episode was on New Year's Day. And I watched it, and I can give some thoughts on it. But over the last few days, there's been wild conspiracy theories about that there is an additional episode or something more coming. And I'm not going to lie. Joe, I'm going to play this silently in the background, just so I can see how spoilerific this is.
Yeah, 'cause weren't they talking about like doing another spin-off related to Stranger Things?
Well, I think they've spoken about it a couple of. Joe, I'm going to take a risk here, and I wholeheartedly apologise if there is anything super spoilery, but you'll see what this. There's a video here which I think is of interest. Let's bring it up. Let's unmute it for a second. So unmute. This is some guy talking about some of the conspiracy theories and about what he's getting into.
All right, this might sound crazy, but I actually think we're getting an episode 9 of Stranger Things. All right, now the Tonight Show just posted this video of Vecna's actor dancing in like an OG 80s workout video. Let's listen to it.
Let's channel our energy. Tomorrow it begins.
Tomorrow it begins. Tomorrow it begins.
So they posted that yesterday, and for the last 4 or 5 days, people have been saying that there's all these clues that 1 week after, on the 7th of January, there is going to be some announcement or some additional episode drop. And so then for them to post something themselves yesterday where Vecna says tomorrow it begins is curious.
This is not a coincidence, bro. They posted this at 10:07 p.m., bro.
So that's 107 again.
I got goosebumps. And the video is 107 long.
So there we keep seeing that they keep hinting at something. And is this all just coincidence? There's an idea of like some sort of coincidence, mysticism thing where you can apply any, like the Number 23 movie. You find any sort of pattern and you can point something out.
Yo, this is not a coincidence, bro. They just posted this video at 10:07 p.m. and the video is 107 long. And he says tomorrow it begins. Oh my God, we're actually getting an episode 9, bro. So if you go to the Stranger Things official TikTok, you can see they posted this video right here, which says the best damn science teacher that town has ever. Oh my God, the Demogorgon fell on me as I was talking.
Okay, yeah. All right, buddy, get on with it.
Pause it right here and you zoom into the back. What time does it say on the clock? It is 1:07 on the clock. This is not a coincidence, bro. Now, if you're still not convinced, stay with me because this is crazy. All right, we go to the comments, and if you type the words 11, her bracelet pops up. This is not fake, right? Now, if you type the words fake ending, bro, an animation of the OG group hugging back together pops up. What?
Okay, I have tested that, and that does happen. So why have they got something baked into their TikTok account where if you put a comment that says fake ending, it comes up with an animation? Unless they've seen what the internet are doing the last few days and they're now trolling us. It's a fascinating thing. Dev, just 1 second. So just give my thought before I come to you. I don't think it will be such a shame if there isn't some additional episode now. And we can talk about why there might be an additional episode. But I can't think of anything that's existed like this before. Where, imagine if you'd seen the end of Endgame, and then just like suddenly a week later, it's like, oh, there's another movie out, and it just no one knew it existed. It's this level of hype around it. But go on, Dev.
First of all, regarding what you just said, anime tends to do a lot. Where like it's ended, but there's more. Like it happens a lot in anime. So
in what way? So what? There's like an additional episode.
Yeah, like an epilogue. It's called like final episode, epilogue or whatever.
Okay, fair enough. Fair play.
Like Seven Deadly Sins did that. They did like they finished season 1 and they did like a 1.5, like a 4-part sort of series. which sort of led into the next series, sort of building everything up.
Yeah.
And no one knew it was already made at the conclusion of the series.
No.
Wow. Okay, so one of the other things, without going into major spoilers if you haven't seen the end of Stranger Things, is it was a bit disappointing. Like, I liked it, but Dave, have you seen it?
I've heard many stories, and that's the common consensus from people, that it was disappointing.
This doesn't tell you what happens, but it reminded me of the ending of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Like, it was just like an hour of endings. It's like it didn't. It was like the story ended, and then they just had to catch up with all of the characters, and there was. I kind of didn't feel satisfied with most of it, because I've just felt like it felt a bit sad. I won't say for the reasons why. It felt a bit like, and what, life just continues for certain people, and it's just like then certain people aren't going to see each other and certain people aren't friends, and it just felt like that isn't what I feel like I wanted from the end of this journey with all of the people involved. The idea would be, if there is something more, and again, this is not a spoiler because it might not exist, but the main bad guy, Vecna, he changes people's perception of reality. And so now this whole wild idea exists that the last episode that they showed us was us being projected a false reality. And I think that's a really cool idea if it turned out to be true. And I don't know why they're putting something where you type fake ending onto TikTok and it brings up a secret picture. But so maybe there's some weight to it, or maybe they've just jumped on the bandwagon of all of the chat over the last few days. Cap.
This is not going to touch on changes. It's going to touch on the one detail that you mentioned, the ending of Lord of the Rings. For me, the perfect ending for Lord of the Rings would have been that ceremony of crowning Aragorn, and they all sang that song. The film should have ended there instead of, we're going back to the Hobbit.
I got you beat on that one, Cap. They get to Mount Doom. They get to the edge. Sam's like, throw it in the fire. Frodo goes to reach in his pocket. He turns to Sam and goes, I left the ring in the Shire.
Cut to black.
Or I left it at Elrond's bathroom.
Yeah.
I left it in the toilet before we left.
Oh my god.
Deb was going, oh shit.
Dave, can you pull up Netflix on the browser?
No.
I don't think I can screen share it, but why?
If you type in fake ending, it shows Stranger Things.
Okay, well, I'll do what I can, but Netflix are real bastards when it comes to screen sharing anything. I need to mute this before it starts playing something. Okay, so let's see if we can at least show this page. So look, Ricky Gervais has got a new special, so there's some advertising for him. So you say I type in fake ending. Fake ending.
That's Vecna.
And the first thing that comes up is Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
I think there's gonna be a movie, guys. There's gonna be a movie.
But Netflix don't even like doing movies. They're playing Warner Brothers.
I love you typed in fake ending and it came up with WWE. So
WWE this week
that's real.
did a crossover with Stranger Things, which was, I'm not going to lie, if you're a Stranger Things fan and not a wrestling fan, and you're like, I need to check this out, don't. It was just that they played the Stranger Things music, and they had like weird tentacles just over like the side of the entranceway. It was crap. But anyway, Dev.
And that's so. Do you remember the ending of Marvel Zombies, where it turns out that like it's all an illusion?
Yeah.
And Stranger Things, Vecna.
I mean, yeah, but so Dorothy Gale, it's all a dream, right?
Yeah.
So there's been lots of things where the ending is like, oh, something didn't really happen. But the idea that you see something and then the idea for us, the audience, that they've tricked us into thinking something was real, and there's all like people have made videos which would be very spoilerific, which just show loads of inconsistencies, that this character never did this, now suddenly they're doing that. This color changed, and it was something looked different here. The bad guy, if it's all a creation from his mind, never met this character, so that's why they're missing. It's all this kind of stuff, which is fantastic, but it might just be a real shame if it doesn't come to anything. Or maybe right now they're on the phone with like Millie Bobby Brown. It's like, we need to make an announcement. Just sign up for one more 2-hour thing that we're filming this summer. You know, they might be doing this because there is the interest there. Like, people have been going crazy for it on TikTok.
I mean, that's all
Twitter.
the cast have, right? Like Millie Bobby Brown, I would say she did try to with the movies. I think the Electric State, I think, which bombed so bad.
She was
So-
in like a
She
movie
did,
with Henry
think
Cavill.
straight-
Enola Holmes and Godzilla.
Again with Netflix.
Not Godzilla wasn't.
Oh yeah, God.
Yeah.
I'm not,
she was the
that
king of the
movie. I
monsters,
just
mate.
reminded of how bad that movie is because it kept cutting to her instead of showing me Godzilla versus Ghidorah.
You've got to
And,
have the human bits.
Then there's what's his name, Finn Wolfhard, which is either the best name or the worst last name ever. Like, it's like, are you horny tonight? Yeah, I'm Wolfhard. It's like, ugh, right? What does that mean? Right? Anyway,
that does sound like a
did
D&D
Ghostbusters.
character.
He did Ghostbusters, the last 2 Ghostbusters films, and he did It, didn't he? So, but and then Sadie Sink is going to be Jean Grey apparently. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I
she's
don't know.
probably
Yeah.
going to be the
Jane
one
Grey or
that,
MJ or Mary Jane.
or Mary
Mary
Jane
Jane.
or something like this. But
Wait,
yeah, so a
how
few
can
of
we
them
have-
will go on.
How can we have Mary Jane? Isn't Zendaya Mary Jane?
She's MJ. She's technically not Mary Jane.
She's Michelle Jones.
Yeah, but I don't understand why
What?
there would be. That would okay. So that would be like there being Peter Parker.
So she
And-
okay. My thesis. So
and
she's
Patrick Parker.
Michael Jackson, isn't she? She's Michael
yeah,
Jackson,
exactly.
isn't she?
Oh god, that reminds me of the one good joke in Space Jam 2, right? Where near the end of the movie, they have to go find Michael Jordan to help them, right?
Yeah.
And they find Michael Jordan. They bring him in. It's
But
Michael
the
B. Jordan.
Yeah.
I don't get why didn't Michael did they even offer for Michael Jordan to actually be in that movie?
Probably
I don't know.
not, considering he's. I don't think he was probably because I think LeBron James has a thing with like Michael Jordan. Like he's trying to be Michael Jordan so hard most of the time. He's trying to be like
That's
I'm
so
the
weird.
next
So why
MJ,
would
I am
you-
the-
Why would you be in the sequel to his movie and like I don't want to be associated to him? I'll just be in the sequel
No,
to
I'm
his movie.
replacing him. I am replacing him.
I'm the upgrade.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so what? Okay, so
Well,
what? Look, why when you type fake ending into Netflix does it bring up Stranger Things as the first result? Why when you type fake ending on Stranger Things on TikTok? Hang on, look, and here's the other thing. Let me bring it up because I saved it, but I'll have to bring it up this ways.
Stranger Thing has become worse than Doctor Who.
Well, no, what we've talked. This is the first time we've spoken about Stranger Things for more than 1 minute in like 8 years, right? So anyway, so here we see Sadie Sink,
Tim is
Mac,
almost going to sleep.
Yeah.
and it says on the screen, and this was posted 1 day ago. If Max Mayfield can make it to graduation, spoiler, you can make it through the first week of 2026, right? The first week does end on the 7th, so there is definitely that they're playing into this if it isn't actually a thing.
I mean, go for it. If it's working, market the hell out of it. Make money.
I think they should. Okay, someone in the comments, Rose says, "Do it 6-7." What does that mean? Is this
Fuck
that weird?
off!
Ah,
Fuck off!
8-9.
yes.
8-9.
Rose,
I think 6-7
Rose,
is perfect.
thank you.
Go for it.
As
Yeah,
as a Gen Z, I personally thank her so
See,
that Dave feels nerd rage.
I can't fault 6-7 because 69. We had 69. They have 67.
Wait, 60.
Yeah.
What is 6-7 as some sort of? Are they meant to be similar? Because
alpha meme. It's like it's their version of a funny number. It's like they're 420, etc., etc.
but 69 has a very different meaning than what I think 6-7 does,
Yeah.
right?
It was an exact position.
Yeah.
I think 6-7's fine. It's totally cool. The way that we stop 6-7 from happening is we acknowledge and accept it, and we use it as well.
We put in a Walmart advert, and
Yeah,
then
because when you
they'll
do
stop
that,
using
it stopped being cool.
Dave,
Exactly.
Dave, once you
No,
stop
so
getting angry and you're like, you know what?
We put 6-7 in Doctor Who.
Yeah, you gotta put it in things. Be like, yeah, I'm 6'7" too. I'm so cool.
All
And then
of
they're
your
like,
bones
"What?"
is what I'm going to break, Tim. Every single bone you have, even if bones you never knew you had, I'm going to find them and I'm going to break them.
You gotta find all 6-7 of them.
Mother.
So
I don't even, yeah, I'll be
the
honest though.
moment
I
you
don't
put a
even get.
number in there, I'm gonna use 6-7 right now, Dave. You know, you're gonna be so mad you travel from France to, yeah, you gotta find me first, all right? Because there's all the other 10 numbers, all right? I mean 8 numbers, all right?
But,
And I'm
like-
just using 6-7.
Yeah, I don't even quite get why this is a thing. I think this is another example of how they just create something, like whoever they are, just to cause division amongst people. Because I don't see why young people think this is entertaining or funny or amusing at all. And I don't understand why old people like Dave are getting angry about it.
No, it's mainly because one, Dave is angry about it. That's one of the fun
Piss
things why
off.
people do it.
But like,
Where's Mark?
I don't think Dave. Why are you angry about it? Like who? Like I don't get.
So the reason I'm angry
I think you
with
don't
it-
know, Dave. This is an intervention. I think you're being controlled by them, like Cybermen control
Vecna.
people.
How
Yes,
dare-
exactly.
Vecna is not controlling me. I had a Constitution save. I'm fine.
Sure, that sounds actually fine. Yeah, sure.
Shut your face, Dev. I'm talking. No. So the reason I'm annoyed at it is because during the Panto run that I was doing, our comedy guy kept putting 6-7 jokes into the show, and it went on. Like we had one show that we did where every single time we came on when we were talking, I know it's not Shakespeare, right? I know it's not high-end performance, but at the same point, you're missing everything we're saying because you keep saying the same joke over and over again. You're like, what should we name the cat? 6-7. Oh, what's your evil plan? 6-7. Fucking shut up and let me talk about things.
It's basically, I would say, like Gen Z meme humor is usually nonsensical at the point where, you know, that goat meme that you guys had for a while where it's just bah everywhere.
That was in Thor.
It's kind of like
It is literally that.
No,
but
Thor
the thing is,
talk-
it went. What annoyed me about it wasn't the fact that the joke was made. It was just being made again and again and again and again, and it was going on for 60 minutes, if not 90
Dave, now
minutes.
Dave, now you
So-
know how your math teacher felt.
What math teacher? My math teacher hated me.
Dave, that
That's why.
comedian that you were working with, you know what would turn him off from using that? Is you helping him use that. That's the easiest way. Absorb it, take it, and be like, I'm gonna ruin this for him in 15 minutes. All right, don't give him 60. You do 5 minutes.
So you know what you should do, Dave? Just give him time. Just give him a little
No,
bit of the show,
Panto's done
not all
now.
of it.
Panto's
Give
done
him-
now. It's
give
done.
him 6 or
It's
7
happened.
minutes.
It's done. That's why I'm
Give
so
him 6 or
angry.
7 minutes.
This has been and done, mate. This isn't happening right now. They're not in the other room waiting to talk to me about this. Saying, hey, he mentioned this on his podcast. And, no, I'm fucking talking about it now.
Also, Dave MC, check Facebook.
I've checked the Facebook dev and it is not appreciated, you bastard.
Right now, though, fake ending is a meme, and we have no idea if that has any meaning.
I hope it does. So, but apparently, I've just seen this, and this is quite amusing. So, I quite like this progression of this character through the years.
That's really funny.
That is pretty
I
good.
like how it looks like the meme was made by Dave because it's missing 6.
Leave
so
me
it's not
alone.
7.
Leave
Yeah,
me alone.
Dave, you got some strong
worst
Marty
thing
vibes
now-
right now.
The worst
miss
thing
him,
that
by
could
the
happen
way.
to Dave is that he plays Resident Evil 9 and then Leon says something like 6, 7 and he's just like, fuck it, that's it. I'm dead.
I'm done. Bam.
So what else are we
This is
talking about on the show today, David?
I don't know,
Please
to be
move this
honest,
on.
I saw the
Yeah.
the
What have you
Fallout.
guys seen? Well, what have you guys seen? Go on, Tim.
I saw the first 3 episodes of season 2 of Fallout. It was pretty good.
Was it good?
Yeah, I
I
had
didn't
fun.
see season 1 of Fallout.
I mean, it's a really they do video game. They do the video game well, I guess. A lot of video. Well, it's not Halo. They didn't absolutely wreck the story. So,
And not
I
The
liked it
Witcher.
for that reason. Yeah,
It's like with Halo. It is just a linear story. You know, you've got your main protagonist, Master Chief, from A to B. But with Fallout, you play as a multitude of characters, and the world itself is so big, anything can happen in it. But it's still in this, like when we see the Brotherhood of Steel. Oh, we know who they are because they're in pretty much all the games. Oh, we know what a ghoul is because we've seen them before as well.
yeah,
And everybody knows the Vault suits as well.
yeah.
Yes,
And Taylor
but-
Sheridan's not involved with it, so he doesn't have to be muscular and naked and be like, "I'll solve problems." But Fallout I liked because it does take place in the universe and it becomes like a continuation of the story. So I really enjoyed it for that. It's hammy, I guess I would call it, campy. There's a lot of like the first 5 minutes of season 2 was just like hilarious. But I liked it. Walton Goggins does a good job in it. And,
Okay, Dev.
Yeah.
So with Fallout, I can't watch it because of Walter Goggins' character. Basically, like it basically triggers me and stuff. But what I have read about the characters is it's very similar to the Minecraft movie where each character in the Fallout show plays like a different play style in the games.
Yeah.
Like how a player would play in the game.
I've never played the game, so I wouldn't know.
I'd say give it a go, Tim. If you ever had the chance to, give Fallout 4 a go. It's a lot of fun.
Do you know what? When I got my Xbox 360, I think it came with Fallout 3. And I think I played it for like 8 minutes and then never again.
You never got out of the vault, mate.
Yeah, I don't think I did, right? That wasn't the game I wanted it for, but it came with it. And I was like, oh, I've got Fallout 3. I didn't know a thing about it. Yeah. Okay, so guys, Tim, I believe on a previous show a few weeks ago, you mentioned about the show Pluribus or Pluribus or whatever.
Yes, I saw the whole thing. It was awesome.
Tim, right. Okay, help me with this. No, I was going to say, I loved the opening episode. And each week I was like, this is going to get good. And by the end, it was just like, was like Vince Gilligan who like made Breaking Bad. Was he just like, for the first 15 minutes, I'm just going to make it vague intrigue. Right? And I just didn't have a clue what was going on. But I'm like, this is going somewhere. And then there were like whole episodes where nothing happened. And then it felt like it felt slow. I didn't not enjoy it, but I can't say I loved the first episode. I was like, what a concept. But after that, I felt like it just each episode we're like, we've earned this. We did Breaking Bad. We're just gonna take it slow. Take slow, and it just got slower and slower. And it didn't build up to a crescendo almost at all.
I think what I was seeing was a development of the story first. Like he has a second and third season already slated, even though the second season is 2 to 3 years from now.
Oh my god!
I also think that Albuquerque itself is slow. Like you don't you don't travel to Albuquerque and think, "Wow, I'm going to make $1 million there." You go and be like, "Okay, I'll make 100,000, unless I'm dealing drugs." I don't know. I've never been to Albuquerque. My head is probably up my butt with that, but I have my
But
stereotype.
Tim,
is that,
I know for a fact that Bugs Bunny took a left turn at Albuquerque.
there you go. And Vince Gilligan loves working in Albuquerque.
Nobody
because-
understood that joke.
Yeah, I just
No
sorry.
one
I just
understood
like
that
yeah,
joke.
perfect.
I understood the joke. I just didn't care.
He was being 6'7" about it.
Ooh, look at him get madder. I think it has potential. I loved how the dialogue was like revealing the story, and it didn't feel exposition. It didn't feel like exposition where the character is just being like, "Here's an info dump." You have the characters like the rules of the pluribus humans. They still try and push against them, like there's some resistance in telling the truth all the time and being happy and stuff.
Yeah.
So like I enjoyed it for that. It did go slow. It was like season 1 of Game of Thrones to me, like very small universe, but eventually like you got to start small before you can like expand the story. Otherwise you just have Halo.
Yeah. Now, one thing about it, if you guys haven't seen it, but we did watch the trailer a while back, something happens in the world, and it means that almost everyone has now got a hive mind, basically. That's the concept of the show. The one problem with that is it meant that even though they did introduce like a main person from the joining or whatever they called it, every character who wasn't the main woman, who Kim from Breaking Bad, I forget what her character in this was called, Carol, maybe? Carol? Every other character basically is the same character, because even though they're a different person, they're the same character. And I think it's something where when you like, this is from the guy that made Breaking Bad, so you're going to think about this, because and especially with his slow burn kind of stuff and all this intrigue, it is something that you think around it. And I think that this was a concept where it's like some of it doesn't hold up well to scrutiny, and they were like really drawing it out where I'd be so interested. I wanted there to be some big thing that it was building up to, and in season 1 it didn't get there. A tiny spoiler is that she isn't the only one not like this, and the other characters very early on that they introduced were just who aren't in this hive mind were all unnaturally cool with it, and it kind of started to lose me there. Go on, Tim.
They're not on. They actually want the unhive-minded people to be in the hive mind, and they're trying to make it as attractive as possible. But yeah,
go on. Sorry, go ahead.
The dark forest concept of like, is there extraterrestrial life outside? The dark forest concept leads this to there's a philosophy behind this kind of virus that turns everyone into a happy hive mind that supports the dark forest theory. I don't want to get too deep into it because you won't, like, the show reveals these in like slow burn reveals, but the hive mind cannot sustain itself.
Well, okay, so the pivotal point for me where I was this doesn't hold up is that one of the people who isn't part of the hive mind has got a son. And when there was like some gathering and Carol asked something, and then the son answered with some real scientific answer, and it showed like the mother look at her son like, how can you answer this? It should have been here where any of the characters that weren't part of the hive mind were effectively like, wait, you're my son's body, but you're not my son's mind anymore. My son's, my son's mind is accessible because I can ask you questions, but everyone knows every bit of knowledge. So you've kind of robbed him of his individuality. And for Carol to be the only one to be on board with that, I was like, why are none of the other characters, if it should have been, without it be going down the route of like Lost or The Walking Dead, where there's this little huddle of survivors fighting against this thing, there should have been more concern from any of the other characters, in my opinion, than just one person recognizing that, oh, everyone else in the world has been robbed of their individuality. No one, so that, like, that woman's son is effectively dead. He has no further continuity as an individual. But go on, Cap, you had your hand up first. We'll come straight back to Tim after.
Okay, so several things. One, I would say that concept of like the hive mind, also having someone's body and then kind of giving them individuality, which is a very old vampire thing, where with like Dracula's minions, basically he can access them whenever he wants. Like they're usually they have many series where like Dracula basically absorbing their skills and talent by actually feeding on people. And one of the funny thing they do is like in Batman versus Dracula, where Joker actually answers the question why vampires need to constantly keep drinking blood, is that he would say, I am his vessel. Basically, all the vampires that Dracula have kind of act like his jar of blood, basically, that he can pull energy from whenever he needs. Now, another angle when you guys said about like, kind of being like this mind zombies, there was a very niche animated series I do not know the name of, where a guy who has a simulation runner sci-fi thing where he can just run simulations and go into different universes that he built. And one universe that he goes to is in a zombie apocalypse, and he's interviewing the president of the world that is being zombie apocalypsed. He's kind of like a reporter who goes to these different universes and interview them. And then what they realize is that finally the president gets bit, even the reporter gets bit. When they realize is that the zombies, what they're actually doing, they're inviting the non-zombie people to a party. The reason why zombies were doing like that, because they were partying. When you turn into a zombie, you see the disco lights go off and the zombies, you're basically partying. And you search for people who's not partying, and so you can invite them to a party, which was a very fun concept. And to the Dark Forest theory, this is from another series called Love, Death, and Robots, where humans are a spacefaring race. They encounter an ecosystem literally flying in space, basically like a Tyrian hive mind or something like that. It's a living ecosystem that is traveling through space. Humans try to explore it, and they realize that this thing is really old. This thing has like several species being a part of this like one big space traveling organic spaceship. So of course the humans realize, oh, we can do that. Maybe we can, manipulate this ecosystem and make all the things that preserve this ecosystem to us. So they started spreading pheromones and getting into biological things where they're like ant colonies try to use them. But then the whole hive thing kind of fights back. It actually absorbs the humans into its ecosystem and literally hooks a woman up. And then the guy who's left over and says like, this is how we do things. We lure species into our hive mind, and they think they can take the hive mind over, but basically you just become a part of it. And one will be willingly, like if you agree to it, and not willingly, you will basically put in and absorb like ternets. But if you agree to it willingly, the reason how it absorbs a species into a hive mind, not just by physically, biologically transferring to them, but by absorbing their culture, whereas this guy now has to answer every question that the hive mind asks. There's several different things I dropped from all the conversation, which has nothing to do with the series. Bye.
Okay, Tim, you were going to say?
Yeah, I was like, you bring up a lot of good points, David. Like, why are some of the unhive-minded people not more concerned about the individuality? And I like to think that that's part of the arc of the grander story, is that even though there's like still 13 individuals who are independent or individuals, some have to be swayed, others are taking advantage of the situation in the way they want to, which is coercing the hive mind to do things they want to live through. I think that that's good writing. It's not an us versus them. It's first what's going on, and then maybe you have more of a developed us versus them as the story goes along. Because we didn't know about the Night King until later on. We knew that something was going on. We knew there were whites in the first season. We knew that winter was coming in the second season, but the Night King didn't really show up until later. So I think Vince Gilligan's doing a smart thing in writing out and establishing the base rules of the universe, and then setting up for the greater conflict. With
Yeah,
a little more.
like I'm definitely going to watch season 2, but if you're saying it's 2 or 3 years away,
that's the problem.
That is a big problem. Like it used to. What happened? Where like the show 24? That was 24 episodes a year, and it ran for like 11 years. And yeah,
think of how long it takes to produce something, and the money and the time. Like, plus when you're looking at Pluribus, granted they film a lot in Albuquerque, but they have little shots in like the hills in like Peru. Or these grand areas that's going to take time and money to get actors there and set up the set. It's expensive, and Gilligan is planning out something over a long period of time, like he did with Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Okay. Quite possibly. Dev.
It's like again with the transition of like, for example, taking 24 as an example, and taking Stranger Things as an example, where things are like stretched out forever. I blame Reddit because giving time, like, instead of having shows come out as one solid thing, like per season, by extending the thing over multiple seasons, gives people time to discuss and talk and speculate and grow the fandom, which is detrimental because, like, if you take too long to get to the point of the story, it basically makes the show boring. But it's Vince Gilligan, and he's banking on his fame from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and thinking, "Oh, I can let this ride for 5 seasons, and people will still watch. It doesn't need to be good in season 1 because the people will watch because I made it."
I think that's definitely an element of it. But like, this is where by the end of it, I was just like, you're being a bit too self-indulgent with this. You need to give me a little more, because if this wasn't where I was like sitting down like, oh yeah, this is the new thing from Breaking Bad guy, I'd just been like, this is too slow for me. And like the ending was almost kind of like a punchline-y kind of ending. I don't want to say it if people haven't seen it, but like the final shot kind of thing that happened in that last 20 seconds is a reference back to something earlier. But it's like, what's going to happen with that? But I won't speak on it because it's a big spoiler.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, it does. But not enough of a cliffhanger, because literally I can tell nothing immediately is going to happen from that.
True.
and nothing, I don't think how anything can happen from that with those characters involved.
I would say like the best thing like series can do is that they can have arcs, like can make a promise to the audience, like, okay, this story arc, again, it depends on how you set up the show. So when it gets like, if you like a detective series or something like that, they have like one big case that they're moving forward with, and that arc would end, and then they would leave few hints for the next arc to begin if they get a greenlit for a next season. But I kind of hard to do that with like these kind of shows, I believe, where there needs to be like, they're very quantitative shows. Oh, there's a hive mind, there's a concept, so it has to end. So
yeah,
it is difficult, but I think if they do it in arcs, it's always better. So you can decide when the next arc begins, do you want to be invested or not?
Yeah, true. Okay, Dave, let's come to you. I haven't heard from you for a little bit.
Oh, thank you. I was just going to follow up on Cap's point. I think that's actually it's good, but it's also a bad idea, because if you have like an original source material, then you have arcs to go. Like anime does it; they have arcs that they can feed off. Game of Thrones, same thing. You got the book, so we can do things from this chapter. With stuff like this, what you're saying, like any sort of series, it's hard to do that because you're going in with a plan for doing one season, so you can't really. You could set things up for saying, oh, we want to do a season 2, so we'll set a few things up. But in the scenario that you don't get a second, it's like if Stranger Things ended season 2 on a cliffhanger, and they say, oh, season 2 did really badly, we're not going to give you a season 3. You've just left open-ended questions to everything that's happened, like, what is the Mind Flayer? How is the Upside Down involved? What is this? Who's this geezer? You leave open-ended questions. So arcs are a good idea, in my opinion, if you have source material to go with it.
Yeah.
And also, I think it depends on how they sign the rights to the production. I believe, like some shows have rights where they have rights to do 2 seasons. They would have that in before they actually start releasing the series. If they not, they probably don't. But I'm guessing like Cap time name 6, 7. I don't know. What do you mean?
Okay. Let's come to 6, 7 there. Tim.
I think the cliffhanger. See, the characters are already used to absorbing that they just killed millions of people with a particular reaction. You know,
Yeah.
like I think that the character's decision of getting an atom bomb, especially after like traveling the world with their crush, and really understanding just how bad it is, like Carol getting an atom bomb sounds like a strong choice, but I think it has some sense, some reasoning. I'd also like to point out
How did she use it though? This is what I mean. It's like a cliffhanger where she said like, "Oh, so you could." We've said it now. So atom bomb, right? So earlier in the season, she's like, "So you'll give me anything you want? Don't worry, right? You'll give me anything I want. Yes, we will. Will you give me an atom bomb? We'd discuss it." They were like, and then at the end, where she's unhappy with them because they are almost working out how to turn her into one of them. She then turns up back to the other survivor who is against the hive mind, and she's like, "Look what I've got! It's an atom bomb, and it's in this giant crate." It's like, how are you going to activate it? Like, what plane are you going to drop this out of? Like, as a cliffhanger, it's just like, well, now what are you going to do?
All that makes me think of is it's just in like this wooden box. And as the hive mind people are trying to attack or invade the home, he's going, "Hang on, give me 5 minutes. I'm just going to take a crowbar to this box. I'm just going to unpack this atom bomb." Oh,
well, have you seen this, Dave?
No, I'm just
well, it literally did turn up in a box.
I'm picturing images of just like it's the atom bomb is in bits, and it's like how to assemble your atom bomb, page 1.
Exactly.
I think that the show itself is a take on individuality versus the community. And like what I've seen is like Manusos, in a way, when he interacts with the community, he understands his individual's impact on the community and how it impacts the individual. So like he understands like how which is why he tries to be accountable for everything he uses and takes away from the community. And we saw this sort of battle of stubbornness between these two principled emotional people. I thought it was really cool with that. To bring it back to like the 24 thing, I think 24 is a 24 episode season where you get a lot of like hour long. Each hour has some kind of catharsis at the end where there's a problem that's solved. And you get the big bad guy over 24 episodes. It was cheaper to make because it's probably in the same location. And you can write and produce those films easier because you don't have to travel with your crew everywhere.
Do you know, actually, I am such a big 24 nerd. Like, the first website I ever made was a fan site for 24. And I love 24, but when I look back on it years later, it was like the first season was fantastic, second season pretty good, but it became so much formulaic as it went on. This is a problem with 24 where it shouldn't have been that they made it every year, because they never justified after the first year it being 24 hours. And even the first year, when you watch it with the knowledge of how it was made, it kind of has the first 12 hours because that's all they were greenlit for. And they kind of wrapped it up so that it could be wrapped up within 12 hours. And when they were like, "Oh, this is a hit," the second half of the show was suddenly like, "Oh, but here's the true bad guy." And every single year, it kind of does that. Every single year, whoever the bad guy is, whatever the threat is at the beginning, it is not the same bad guy by the end, because they could not stretch out a single storyline over one day and make it last the entire day. They always had to change things up a third of the way in and reveal, "Oh, but this is the man behind the curtains pulling the strings," and that. They always struggled with it. And with 24, the best thing about the first season is it was a revenge story. It was personal. The second year, and also not getting too much into this side of it, the first episode of 24, I think, aired the day before 9/11 or the week after 9/11, something like this. They literally had to change some of the footage they'd already shot. So within that climate, where it was counterterrorism, but it was like some European guy who had got a grudge against Kiefer Sutherland. By the time they were making season 2, they were like, this is now going to be about someone getting an atom bomb, a nuclear bomb, bringing it back to that. The next year was like biological weapons. And then after that, every second year, it would be an atom bomb again, because they felt every year we need to make this bigger and bigger and bigger. And as they made it bigger and bigger and bigger, it became less and less about the individual characters. And it was like, guys, you need to just take a step back, probably not make something that's 24 episodes, because there's so much where you're just repeating, and it is just spectacle over storytelling. Even though it was gripping, this is where eventually they killed off almost every major character ever, just to try to bring it back to affect the audience, because they didn't have anything else. All it was is, oh, this character's been in it for a long time. They're just sort of saying, oh, this is our mission. You don't really know the character and what they're about. But now when we kill them, we hope you'll care. But anyway, sorry, I kind of took over a little bit there. Guys, we've got a few minutes that we can still go. Is there anything else that's on your mind? Or shall we get into some predictions and stuff for 2026? Dave?
I'd like to say, like, during the Panto run, I did watch a series called, I don't know if you've already spoken about it on here. I watched It, Welcome to Derry.
Oh, no. Was it good?
I thought it was very, very good. The build up to actually seeing Pennywise was absolutely worth it. And seeing that, I'm of two minds on this one. Like, I like the thought that they show how the creature got here. But at the same point, I don't like that. I liked the mystery of how this thing got here. You know, that's
when you say the creature,
the rule of cosmic
Pennywise,
horror,
right?
What Pennywise is, what it's supposed to be. But other than that, you know, I thought it was pretty good, and there was a lot of tie-ins to the films. Because they sort of. Not a major spoiler, but they kind of say that Pennywise or the thing is omnipresent, so it is everywhere. It's in the past and it's in the future as well. Some really good horror moments in it as well. Lots of suspense and build-up. I really wish that the choir would shut the fuck up at points.
The choir?
You know, that the whole thing goes, oh, like the build-up sort of thing. I was like,
right.
Just shut up for 5 minutes and let me watch the fucking series. You know? But no, some really good scares, really good goal. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise was really, really good.
So, can I just ask a question, though? One, I don't know how many episodes it was. I'm assuming it's going to be a limited series, 6 or 8 or something like this, right? Okay, so
6 or 7, David. It's 6 or 7, David. It's 6
sorry,
or
my
7.
bad. Right. Did it justify why it was made, or was this still a product of, oh, we went into the pandemic and everything has to have a streaming service now, and so just like all the Marvel shows were like, this is basically a Marvel film stretched out over 10 episodes, or this is, you know, did it justify its existence as part of the It franchise, or was it just like, this should have been condensed into a movie?
I think it justified its reasoning, whether it would be a series or a film. Like, it works as a series, but no, I shut up. I changed my mind. It does work better as a series because it does fill it. It has bits that fills in the gaps. Kind of like it goes, oh, here's the thing that happened in the past. This is why this happens. This is why Pennywise looks like he does. As well. Oh. I won't give too much away, but they actually show why Pennywise is Pennywise.
Okay, cool. Dev.
From what I read about the show, because I can't watch it, it's very the way it's formatted. It's very well formatted for a TV show. As a movie, this would have been too much information to throw at someone in a limited amount of time. But because it's broken down, it can show each episode has elements that can apply to various parts of the lore in the movies, and expands on questions that the movies bring up. are answered by the TV show.
Yeah.
Like why the clown gets defeated by a bunch of kids every time. This cosmic horror.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Like,
Okay, but does it
like
answer
the
good
bigger
questions?
mystery, like,
Yes.
Because do you remember?
Yes.
Do you remember like when they do like they did Star Wars Solo, a Star Wars story or whatever, and it's like this is how he got the Millennium Falcon. It's like, is that a justification for a whole movie? You know, it's like, do we need to see the backstory of just like, oh, and this is why he says he's not going to be called Obi-Wan anymore, and that's where we're going to make a whole series of Obi-Wan Kenobi based on that concept. It's like, does everything need explaining for a prequel series? Dev?
To tie back into Star Wars, you know the whole meme of like somehow the Emperor came back.
Palpatine.
Yes.
Imagine if
Yeah.
Palpatine is
Yeah.
better.
imagine if a show was dedicated to answering a question. It's similar to that. Like any question that we would have watching the movies is probably answered in the show.
Okay. Well, let me ask a bigger question for everyone there. Is it fair play? Talking about Stranger Things, now let's come to the end. I saw a video which was pretty cool, which was 43 unanswered questions from Stranger Things.
Oh.
And it was a really good video. It was rapid fire. And I was just like, oh shit, they didn't answer anything. Is it good that all like Lost or any of these mystery box shows where they open up loads of questions and they're just red herrings, you know, or should things, some things can be vague if they want something to be vague, but should there just be threads that go nowhere? Should they come up with solutions before they actually come up with questions? Cap.
So with what even earlier when Dave said, when he said they explained Pennywise how he got here, he likes it, but he also at the same time he hates it because I think the mystery is spoiled for him, which is one of the biggest rule in cosmic horror. They say never reveal the mystery because the mystery is what made it captivating, and you'll never be built up to people's expectations. I don't necessarily believe that. I think if you're a good enough writer, you can do cosmic horror well, and you can explain the unexplainable, and it could still be fascinating enough to have you to have more questions about the thing, instead of just being like, it's spoiled now. I mean, there are instances where it's bad. Mass Effect 3, for example, where there was a terrible cosmic horror reveal where the end is go, oh fuck. It's like, why would you do
I know,
that?
it was fantastic, wasn't it?
So,
to an extent.
I mean, there are pretty bad examples, but from what I get from Dave when he said like the Pennywise, he's like, he kind of likes the explanation, but he just like felt like there could have been a little bit more room for him to prone more question. Am I right on this, Dave?
Well, you're kind of right, but it's kind of like Schrodinger's cat. I opened the box and I found out whether the cat was alive or dead. You know, I've got the answer now, but at the same point, I wish I can't put the answer back in the box. You know what I mean? Once it's like that.
Yeah, you
bar
can.
of chocolate. It is the bar of chocolate. You've eaten the bar of chocolate, but you can't put the bar of chocolate back in the wrapper, can you? You've opened it. That's it. Game over. Which is why
I always take a bite and put it back in the wrapper. You know, it's just great in Tesco's when that happens. They just like open it and there's like teeth marks in it.
But you know what I'm saying though. It's like the question was answered, but at the same point, I wish it wasn't answered.
Have you guys seen Event Horizon?
An actual one or the film?
Actual one?
Yeah, the real one.
I've seen one.
The Event Horizon, I think they explain it as well as they can, but you don't get a concept of what it is really. Like they just call it the portal to hell.
Oh yeah.
When I watch the movie though, that doesn't feel like it's enough to explain it. Like there's still some mystery behind it, and it really creates like this sense of doom. I think that's kind of what good writing can do, is like it can try and explain it, but it really can't give you.
Okay, so if you're saying like a portal to hell or a portal to doom, that sounds like some sort of natural phenomena. And it's like, oh, well, how did this open? Why did it open? But why does a tornado happen? To me, that's like, well, do you need an answer? But if I come back to Stranger Things for a second, one of the unanswered questions, which this is no real spoiler, the bad guy Vecna, he's taking all of these kids from the town of Hawkins, and he needs 12 of them. And there's a thing where they have this thematic clock, and it's like, oh, 12 because of points on the clock, so he needs all 12. And it's like, okay, so 12 relates to a clock, but why does he need that? And they don't answer. And it's like, but this is to do with the character's motivation. And it's like, they should come up with some explanation that they need this to form us. And it can be simple. It can just be, it needs to create this because it forms a circle, or it is to do with points in time in a day where if something happens every 1 hour, it means that it doesn't lapse and it takes the energy from the next person. Some sort of wild thing like this. But then it's explained. But this is just something where it's like, oh, well, it relates to a clock. And every time you see Vecna, you hear a clock chime. It's like, but why? You know, if you put in something that's to do with it, why is the character needing this? And it's a big unanswered question. And I think that if you're going to, you know, and they make these things where they produce a series every 2 or 3 years. And I think someone needs to sit down and go through Reddit and think, okay, so what are all the fans asking? Okay, can we in the next 2 or 3 years before the next season drops actually start to thread in something that will answer this? Because if you can't, then it will end up where at the end of a show or end of a film series, people will be like, oh, that was disappointing. You know, and Breaking Bad is an example of, quickly. Breaking Bad is an example of a show which almost wrapped up everything. So it is possible, but go on, Cap.
No, I was to say that like leaving some things room to interpretation is good because because it will be alive in the community. That
Can
answer
you give
will be
an
never
example
answered.
of one
But
that is definitely good and not just unanswered for the sake of unanswered?
I mean, I would say like a lot of things in 40K are left to interpretation most of the time.
Can you give another one that isn't to do with Warhammer? Okay, go on.
If it's not Warhammer,
well, you can do. It's just I have no point of reference for it.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that again, like, is the main question like is the okay? What does Paul Atreides saw in Dune that made him really convinced that he should accept the role as the Messiah, as that he's been resisting the whole throughout the film? A lot of people say, well, in the book it is clearly explained what he says, so this is a bad example. But those who haven't read the books, like, what did he see when he drank the spice juice? Oh, did he see the end of the universe? Did he see like the past and the future? And what was the thing that he's trying to avoid? It does open up a lot of possibilities for fans to. Did he say 6-7 or anything?
He watched Transformers the last night.
6-7. Tim,
you, Tim.
Sorry. So, is there a detail in the story left out that people are okay with not knowing? Correct?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Yeah, that's the question.
Does Jesus' resurrection in the Bible count as that?
Well, see, that's the ultimate example. That's the. But then I feel like there is explanation because now you're saying it's like a divine being. It comes down to. You put it to faith and God.
Okay.
And if they do that in shows, because so many shows go like Lost, it has so much symbolism for, oh, this is religious and good versus evil. And Superman, they're like, oh, look at all this where he's meant to be Christ and stuff like this. There are lots of things that do go on the idea of we'll just take it on faith kind of thing. But where you leave a character's motivation or some action that happens which is just inexplicable, where it's okay to be vague. I can give an example, but it's a massive spoiler, so I won't do it. Dev, we haven't come to you in a little bit.
Speaking of like leaving something to the imagination, like and letting the fans talk about it and stuff. Do you remember the show Life on Mars on BBC?
Yes, I do. Great show.
They did that for Life on Mars, and then they answered the question in Ashes to Ashes.
Yes. Okay, so how do you feel about that they did then answer it?
They went for the logical answer, which was stupid, but the fact they brought in the actual devil into the show was where it went stupid.
Do you know what? I forgot that detail. I just thought you meant about whether or not John Sim got home, basically.
like they basically they. I'm going to spoil the show now. The characters are all police officers who died in different.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like,
yeah.
In different decades, and like they're all from like one officer's from the 70s, one's from the 80s, one's from the 90s, and they're all in purgatory, and the main chief has to guide them to heaven. But in the second show, they introduce another character who's tempting them to transfer into his department, which is hell.
Oh yeah, I forgot that stuff in Ashes to Ashes. I haven't seen that in many years. Guys, we're going to need to begin to wrap things up. Cap, I'll just come to you, and then we are going to have to wrap things, I'm afraid.
So I would say when you think about, again, back to the original Cosmic Horror example with Cthulhu, one of the things they will say, like, why you don't explain the motivations of Cthulhu is because what Cthulhu is you basically to an ant. Does the ant can comprehend why the heck are you moving this mouse to do something while it's on my table? It has zero conception of what a computer is, what a mouse is, or what the fuck am I doing? Like, ant brain cannot really understand any of it, which is a hard thing to pull off. What you were doing in interdimensional being or a horror thing like that, when it does something that you don't understand. But what most often people do is that when they try to do, we're going to be very vague and very, intellectual about it, and then a simple person may look at that and say, that's kind of stupid. So you may fall into that trap. But if you think about something like Halo, right? The Flood was a big cosmic mystery in Halo. But you kind of have like a very solid theories of what it is. It's either a natural occurring predator of the universe that just, likes to consume every sentient life once so often, or it's something that is made by an alien civilization, probably a parasite that was made by a science experiment gone wrong. You only have like two possibilities, unless you have something hint on interesting something that we don't even think of. You're gonna have only just very remote possibilities. So even if you reveal that, it's not going to be that as much satisfying. Like you can even say with like it could be a cosmic demon, it could be an alien, it could be a guy who did a science experiment and turned into a clown. So depends on the possibilities and how interesting the possibility would be on your mind. Again, setting your expectations is a very big example, while Cthulhu has a very big expectations where the answer you give have to be really phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay, just very quickly before we begin to wrap up, because Dave, you were like touring as Pantoland, whatever. Did you see any of the war between land and sea?
Do you know what? I heard things about it. I caught bits and pieces of it. Apparently, it's really good, and they kind of explain why the Sea Devils look different between each other.
I thought, this is a shame. I thought it was awful.
well, no, because I haven't. Like I said, I didn't really watch it. I watched bits and pieces because I sort of swore off it because I was like, "Oh, here we go. You're gonna ruin the sea." Well, because when they started doing the whole thing about, we have a problem. We're calling them Sea Devils. It's a problem. But that's what they call them in the show. They call them Sea Devils. The Doctor they call them Sea Devils. In fact, the Silurians themselves, they call them Sea Devils. And when I brought that up to someone, do you know what he said? He's like, "Oh no, you're wrong, Dave. You're absolutely wrong, man. Warriors of the Deep, Peter Davidson, go."
Right. Okay, so my very quick thoughts on it is it was a Doctor Who show. Where most of it was just a negotiation.
Yeah.
Most of it was the people who were either in makeup or made of CGI, and they were like, once again, every year with Doctor Who, the last 2 or 3 years, they're like, we're going to have some big CGI thing, but animating it, moving off the spot is expensive, so we won't do that. So for the most part, they took Torchwood from 15 years ago, where there was the one with Peter Capaldi before he was the Doctor, where there was just like something in a glass jar in some mist in the background.
Right.
They just had like a glass jar with water in it, and then like they'd walk through and they'd stand there in front of like a courtroom and negotiate for most of the show. Stood there. Russell Tovey playing this character who I think I'm correct in saying they gave no connection to his other character from Doctor Who at all. It didn't lead up to any connection, even though he was a he was a midshipman. He was midshipman Frayne, and then this is about the battle between the land and sea, and they didn't think to connect him to that somehow in the future he'd have a relative or time travel that he would have some connection to ships at all. They just didn't do it. And here's the thing, when he played Midshipman Frame, and he's all like, oh, what am I going to do? I'm really nervous all the time. He played this new character exactly the same. And I was like, what? He's the lead of this, and he's playing it like a buffoon. He should be playing it. He's a good actor. And yet, for most of it, he was like, oh, I shouldn't really be here. And I'm like, what? And then he ended up as like the main negotiator. And it's like, but you're not qualified for this. There is no way in hell they would ever do this. And it was a letdown. It was a letdown. It was really lacking. It was 5 episodes and it dragged.
Well, the thing is like, I looked at that and I thought, well, hang on.
It still was more action-packed than Polybrus, though. So there's that.
But it's like, you've got the Sea Devils coming through and UNIT are like, oh, we've got the Sea Devils are coming through. This is a terrible thing. Yeah, hang on. Didn't you just almost like a couple of years ago make a deal with the Zygons, who are, as I recall, still active on Earth?
Yeah, they always forget these things, though.
It's like somehow they forget about the Daleks as well. You remember the defense drones they had, and yet you had a Dalek invasion years ago, and yet you all somehow forgot about that.
This is a problem with Doctor Who as a whole. Every 3 years, they're like, it doesn't make sense if everyone on Earth knows that there are aliens. So we better just make it like people like, what, you saw an alien? You must be crazy. It's like, you've had aliens here since the 50s. What are you talking about? You know. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we are going to have to begin to wrap things here. We should have proper shows with proper timings and stuff back next week properly. Let's find out where we can find everyone, starting with 6-7.
Oh, you can find me at Providence. I'm doing a improv show at the CTC Contemporary Theater Company in Wakefield, Rhode Island on March 20th for Improvised Science Lab. We're inspired by Star Trek and Star Wars. We interview a science expert, and then we improvise a couple of scenes based on it. That's what I got for now. On to the next.
Okay, Cap.
You can find me on Sword Thieves, where I sing, I dance, I throw myself in a bucket, and I work with puppets. And recently there's a video of Zootopia invading the Pride Lands to solve Mufasa's murder, which is a sketch out. You can go check that out. There's also the Disney Villains New Year's resolution for 2026, which you can also go and check that out. And they're pretty much for the future. I have no sketches planned at the moment because I've been playing Halo a lot. I need to write some scripts. But anyways, you can go check that out, and you can also find me here on numerous shows.
Yeah, do you know what? Like next week or whenever, we can do something where we talk. I've said for ages we should talk about like what some of the content, if we've got our own channels and that, some of the things that we've got in the pipeline, do some proper plugs and stuff like that. Or just like, you know, let's almost do it like where we sort of say like, oh, this year, because I said we should do predictions for this year, but like this year I want to achieve this, and let's keep each other in check with it, not in a bad way, but like motivated way. Deb.
It's gonna end up being like the Geek Battle spin-off showcase with like everyone's own show.
Well, yeah, but you know, if it helps cross-promote
Pitch battle.
The Dave MC takeover.
Yeah. Well, look, we already said we're going to have legal battle today. So, who were we on? Sorry, Dev, were we on you?
Yeah. You can find me on TikTok and Twitch under the name FWDAT.
Okay. Dave?
You could find me here on Geek Battle and Extreme on various shows, and check out my YouTube channel, Dave MC Gaming, and on Twitch as well. I will be back to streaming on Saturday with Assassin's Creed 2. My schedule will be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. On a Monday and Tuesday, I will be streaming some new content, and I will be working on creating some new stuff for the YouTube channel as well. So definitely keep your eyes open, but check out any of my previous Let's Plays as of the last year or so. So definitely go check out any of the stuff I got on there. And my recommendation, go check out It Welcome to Derry if you can.
Okay, fantastic. My name is David Pstansky. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at David Pstansky, and everything Geek Battle related. I'll talk about it more like next week if we do end up speaking about this other stuff. I've been working for so long on some new cool stuff that I should hopefully be able to show off soon. Go on, Dev, what you want to say?
I just realized tomorrow is the Extreme Improv Live, right?
Yes.
I have a suggestion. You
Go
should
on,
be
then.
6'7".
Do what?
You should use 6'7" in the show.
Someone might, and I'll be like, I don't know what that means, and probably the audience will be like, you're not 12, and that will be the end of it. Right, anyway, so until next time, stay safe, always stay extreme, live long and prosper, may the force be with you, nanu nanu, and boom, we are off the air.